Hello, hello, my lovelies. Welcome back. This is TribeMomma Talks, where I talk and you listen, because sometimes you just need someone to fill the silence. I hope all of you had a great new year. It's been a while. We had the cold run through my household. You can hear a little bit in my voice. And that's what kept me away because I could not record for the life of me. But I gotta say, I did have a bit of a sexy vocal fry that it's like the best part of a cold. Anyway, we are back today with some stories. We're going to be doing Reddit marriage stories. And yeah, let's get started. All right, our first story is from Little Maybe 5360, and it's titled Nobody Seems to Like My Spouse. Everyone sighs really big or wants to leave whenever they're going to be involved. It's affecting me more and more. So this is just someone venting. All right, let's see what's so unlikable about your spouse. And of course, I know the first thing everyone will be tripping themselves over to say is that it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. Blah, blah, self righteous, blah. But you know what? I'm human, and this is Reddit. I want to hear what you really think, beyond the obvious. My spouse is highly anxious. They stress over the smallest things, get really worried, worked up, or demanding over trivial inconveniences. Their energy is intense and awkward. They are long winded, hypercritical, and oblivious to a lot of things, and loudly point out issues they think they see in other people. This has made most people around them quite impatient when talking with them. Their family usually roll their eyes and let them do their thing for the most part. Friends say they can only take them in doses. And acquaintances usually run through a common experience of being confused, offended, uncomfortable, and awkward before running for the nearest exit. Yeah, they don't your spouse doesn't sound likable at all. Thing. I mean, no. Who wants to be around someone like this? I gently make sus- sorry. I gently make suggestions or observations in an open-ended way to see if they'll see some of their shortcomings, but I'm usually met with defense or hostility. So, being my avoidant self, I just let them be as well. Okay, so this person seems to have just bullied everyone into submission to put up with them, even you. But the more and more interactions I see and the older I get, the quicker my patience is wearing. Sometimes I just want to yell out, "What the F is wrong with you? Can't you see how uncomfortable you're making everyone? How can you think you're such top ish when everybody thinks you're a loser?" Yeah, that's not good if this is what you're feeling. Yes, I am cruel. Probably should divorce, main character, etc., whatever. I've heard it before. But let's just say I'm staying to talk it out, see it through. Then what? I can't help but think if only they watched or heard a video of them speaking with people, then maybe they'd realize some of the effery they deal out. And maybe go, wow, I'm a bit of a douche. If I toned it down a bit, maybe people would like me more and my relationship and life would improve. Wishful thinking. Okay. I'm gonna. I think my first question isn't so much what other people think of your spouse. Do you like your spouse? I mean, it's obvious nobody else does, and seems to be very good reason. But do you like your spouse? And if you don't like your spouse, is it because of their behavior? I mean, which one are you more upset about? The fact that nobody else likes your spouse, or the fact that you just don't like your spouse? Because there's nothing likable about this behavior. We don't have any context either. I don't know how long you two have been together. I don't know how old you are. Um, I don't even know what your genders are. Not that it really matters, but it can play a part in the context of the story. And I mean, were they always like this? How did you end up with them? If this is how they were when you met them, how did that blossom into love? Is what I'm curious about. How you end up with somebody who is this off putting to everyone around them. But okay, I mean, Whew, I couldn't. It couldn't be me. So that's why I'm wondering, were they always like this? Or was this gradual? Did they put on a show for you and win you over? Or did you go into a relationship with someone like this and it didn't bother you? Because I mean, if you like them and this behavior doesn't actually bother you, like affect you personally, then I mean, that's, or were they actually like this from the start? And it's like, how did you end up married to this person? But okay, let's just see what the comments have to say. Oh, wow. Okay. Uh, somebody said, was this the same spouse who threw you to the ground and choked you? This may be the reason no one likes your spouse. Holy ish, I just checked your post history too. And yeah, this goes way beyond awkward social skills, doesn't it? The fact that you're focusing on how embarrassing they are instead of the literal assault is kind of concerning. Crazy, it's deleted now. Okay. So this poster apparently has posted before and has referenced an assault by their spouse. That would definitely be a reason that nobody likes them. So we're talking abuser now? I have so many questions. You need to leave him because he strangled you, not because he's ND. What is ND? Let's look it up. Let's educate ourselves. Okay, according to the comments, because Google did not help, I think ND is referring to neurodivergent because some people seem to have suggested maybe that's where his awkward social skills are coming from. But yeah, the point still stands. This person needs to leave their spouse because they're abusive, because they strangled you, not because they are unliked by other people. And it definitely adds context as to why they're unliked by other people. Your spouse is an abuser and no one likes them because they all know that. They choked you and threw you to the ground. Abusers do this, not neurodivergent people. Abusers. Do not let people tell you it's neurodivergence because it's not. Don't stay to help him because they know what they are doing and don't want to stop. Studies have shown that once someone has been choked by their partner, the odds of being offed by that partner goes up 750%. You can't change them. You can't make them someone who they are not. When they are not being abusive, they can be a very nice person, but they are abusive. When you consider their behavior, consider that no one is all mean or abusive or evil all the time. Ted Bundy was allegedly very charismatic when he wasn't busy being a serial killer. Monsters don't always look like monsters. They pretend not to be monsters until they show their true face. I hope you don't share children with this person. Wow, yeah, wow, oh my goodness, you guys. That is awful. That was a surprise flip I wasn't expecting. But yeah, I mean, if that is what people know about your partner, that's why they don't like them. And you may be in denial about that. Interesting that they would post something about, oh, nobody likes them because of this, but completely leave out the assault. Interesting. I would be going to family gatherings alone, and when your spouse complains, tell them what you just told us in terms that are blunt. Okay, this is somebody who does not know about the past history and is offering advice. And that is good advice when you don't take into context the past history that we now know. They sound insufferable. I wouldn't enjoy life with a partner like that. If you do, good for you. But if people stop inviting y'all to stuff, don't take it personal and don't force them to be around him either. Go to more family things alone or not at all. Again, somebody who does not have the extra context. Very practical advice. 59 days ago, OP was posting about this same partner throwing her to the ground and how she has to leave, but apparently hasn't. I think there's more than rudeness to blame here for other people not wanting to be around him, but she insists on defending this abuser. The person you're describing sounds just like my mom's husband. She has forced him on our whole family and makes us out to be the bad guy when we voice that we don't like his behavior. Yes, I know he's a difficult person, but why can't you love him? Yes, I know he can be mean and makes every interaction tense, but why can't you be more mature? It makes me hate her. Yeah, you cannot. I mean, if you choose to live with someone who treats people this way, that is your choice, but you cannot expect other people to put up with that at all. I don't care who they are. You cannot expect your family to do it. You shouldn't expect your children to do it. Your friends, nobody should have to put it. You chose them, but your friends and family, they did not choose this person. and you can't expect them to put up with it. Honestly, I think people just get offended because for whatever reason they have decided they're okay with this behavior, but maybe they're insecure about it. And when you say, I won't put up with that behavior, it's a reflection of them. Your spouse is a domestic abuser, and you need to get away from them as quickly as possible. OP ignoring the comments about him choking you. OP ignoring the comments about him choking you will not make them go away. You need to leave him. One last one. OP, you speak of this person with absolute contempt, and I don't think them toning it down a bit could salvage things for you at this point. You're done. You think they're a loser, even if they could manage to stop being a douche on top of it. You should not be married to this person at all. As for what it would actually take for them to realize how they are with other people, they can already hear and see their own interactions. They're choosing this behavior anyway. And who's to say it's not working for them? They convinced someone to marry them after all, so how bad can they actually be? Until their behavior consistently yields results they consider unacceptable, they have no real incentive to change it. That's exactly what I was saying when I was reading it. It's like this person, your spouse, has bullied everyone into submission to just put up with their awful behavior. Their family puts up with it. They got you to marry them, and you put up with it. And so why should they change? Hearing it played back for them isn't going to make a difference. But this is way deeper and far more complicated than I believed it was going in. But yeah, if you decide to be with somebody who's insufferable, that is your choice. You cannot force it to be everyone else's choice. Eventually, they're going to ban you. And honestly, people who are this insufferable, they pick their surroundings purposely. They pick the people who will put up with it. Because I guarantee there are people who have met your spouse and they don't. They haven't stuck around. I guarantee that just like other contexts you left out of this post, you've probably left out the friends you've lost, the family you've lost because of your spouse's behavior. Because, you know, there were people who were just like, nope, I won't put up with it. And of course, those are the kind of the people your spouse isn't going to be around, want to be around because they can't behave that way around them. But anyway, wow, we started off with a doozy. Let's move on. Right, this one is by Firm Camera 5724. He's gotten every birthday wrong. Oh. My husband and I have been married for 3 years and have known each other for 4. In a couple of hours, it will be my birthday. Once again, he asked if I was sure I didn't want to spend it at his friend's child's birthday party tomorrow. I don't ask for much. I show up and provide for everyone every day of my life. The one thing I ask for on my birthday is for it to be about me, for someone to choose me for one day. This isn't something I've kept to myself. I reminded him last year, 6 months ago, even a month ago. I gave him clear expectations: a party, a dinner with family, dancing, showing up to my cooking class while I'm instructing, things that make me feel seen and celebrated. I had to push for these things repeatedly, and even now, the night before my birthday, he still doesn't understand why my birthday matters so much to me. To him, birthdays are just another day. To me, my birthday is my day to shine, and I'm not ashamed of that. I celebrate life because there was a time when I didn't want to be alive. It's my day to honor my growth and my accomplishments. And every year, like clockwork, something happens that leaves me in tears. He's a great husband in so many ways, yet somehow it feels like he struggles when the attention is on anyone else but me. Oh, wow. Well, okay. First of all, sweetie, you shouldn't feel ashamed of wanting to celebrate your birthday, and your expectations were not ridiculous things. Um, so yeah, if someone tells you that their birthday is important to them, the very least you can do is respect that. Now, on the other hand, I am one of those people who do not treat birthdays as special. So I can at least relate to the husband in the sense that to him, birthdays are just another day. I'm the same way. People are always surprised when they ask me, what do you want for your birthday? And I'm like, nothing. I want to be left alone. Honestly, I just want some peace. I want a day where there are no expectations put on me. That's what I want. And sometimes my loved ones are disappointed because they want to do something special for me, but I'm like, that's not what I want. If I want something, I'll let you know, you know. But yeah, birthdays are not a big deal to me. But my boyfriend, if he tells me he wants to celebrate his birthday, I'm not going to ignore that because to me, birthdays aren't a big deal because I love him. I respect him and I want him to feel special. And if he tells me this is what I would like for my birthday, then I'm going to do it. Now, if he doesn't tell me he wants something special, he's on his own because I've told him, you're a grown man. You want something special for your birthday, let me know because otherwise I will say I love you. I will say happy birthday. I'll get you a card. But otherwise, I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. But yeah, she is communicating like an adult. This is what's important to me, and this is what I would hope to have. And she gave him a plethora of options. And the night before, he's still saying, hey, you want to spend it at a random kid's birthday? I would be upset and I'd be hurt. I'd be like, are you friggin' serious? We've been together for 4 years and you haven't cottoned on to this. Oh my goodness. But we do have an update. I read him my post and some of the comments, and even though he was a little apprehensive at first, he ultimately understood that this was important to me. He took me out for a nice dinner with our family. He called the restaurant and then set up a card with a personalized message saying, happy birthday, I'll love you forever. The card on the table alone made me the happiest person in the world. Thank you for all of the birthday wishes. You know what? I am so happy that that happened for you, OP. But I do find it frustrating that you have told this man for 4 years that your birthday is important to you. And it wasn't until he saw other people, I'm assuming, agree with you because I haven't read the comments yet. And that's when it hit him. This will always annoy me. This will always annoy me. Why do you need validation from other people that something's important to your partner? If your partner has already expressed that it's important to them, why do you need other people to chime in and agree that yeah, they have a right for it to be important? Shouldn't what matter is that it's important to your partner? Now, if your partner wants something crazy and you like they're saying, fly me to Paris for my birthday, then I'd understand if you really would need other people to chime in and say, yes, that's not unreasonable. Fly her to Paris for her birthday. I would understand why you would need, some other voices chiming in to convince you. But just to celebrate her birthday, 4 years, it took you 4 years to realize it's important and that you should just do it for her. I don't even care, like, that you don't think birthdays are a big deal. You love this person, so just take them out for their birthday. It's not that difficult. So that will always bug me, but I'm happy, OP, that I guess being shamed by the comments made this man realize he was being a twat about this and took you out and gave you a nice birthday dinner. So happy birthday to you. Happy belated birthday, OP. Let's go to the comments and see which ones shame this man into getting it together. He's not a great husband. That'll do it. This right here. A great husband doesn't need 4 years and multiple reminders to figure out that birthdays matter to his wife. Exactly. I have a close friend that has a husband like this. He barely acknowledges her birthday after years of her telling him how that made her feel. She started acknowledging it herself. Last year, we did a girls' trip to Greece for her birthday, and this year, we did a girls' trip to Jamaica. Get together with some friends and family that appreciate and celebrate you, and do something special for yourself for your birthday. This screams, my husband is the problem. Birthdays may seem small, but it's really about respecting and valuing your significant other. Exactly. He still doesn't understand why my birthday matters so much to me. It's not important to know why it matters so much to you. It's only important to know that it does matter so much to you. He knows how much it matters to you and he doesn't give an F. Yeah, that's really what it comes down to. You're with someone, how many times you have to tell them this is important? And they just can't. Again, she wasn't asking for anything ridiculous for her birthday. She's asking for it to just be a nice day about her, where you do something she would enjoy, where you acknowledge her, you see her, and you tell her she's special. And he spent 4 years being like, no, that's too much trouble. That's too much trouble for me. I can't be bothered with that. I love you. I'll be good for you when it's convenient to me, but not when you're legit asking me to value the day you came onto the planet. I went through this with my wife. I would put so much care, energy, and thought into every gift I ever gave her, And she basically never appreciated anything I did or cared when I expressed anything was important to me. For myriad other reasons, we are divorcing. And honestly, it is such a relief to be able to value myself now in a way I never could have with her. She just didn't care about the same things I cared about, nor did she respect my expression of things being important to me. I'm not saying divorce your husband. I'm just saying your expectations are not the problem. Your partner should have no problem giving you one special day a year, plus Mother's Day, Christmas, Valentine's, your staff functions, family events, like 5, 10 days realistically. If celebrating you doesn't feed the spark inside him, he just doesn't value the relationship or your effort in a commensurable way to how you do. Okay, so what does he say? You just don't value the same things. Sorry, I'm not familiar with that word. I have a feeling that this isn't actually about your birthday. You said you want one day of the year where you feel seen and appreciated. That's because the other 364 days of the year, you are also not feeling seen or appreciated. It doesn't sound like your husband chooses you over other things in his life. You show up and give it 110%, and it's expected of you. You're asking for your partner to match that energy at least once, and you're picking your birthday to be that one time. I don't think he even really likes you, sis. Do you think that's the comment that made him realize what a douche he was being? Or maybe it was this one. Nope, not a great husband. I told my husband that while we were still testing the waters, my birthday was a big deal to me. Because it's close to Christmas, it got overwhelmed by the holidays. He remembered. He's made my birthday special every year since then. This year will be the 22nd birthday that I've spent with him. He went on to teach our children to value my birthday and their own birthdays. Oh, so she was like, look, dude, while we're still dating, I'm gonna make it clear, don't you mess this up. And he was like, got it. I am locked in for the birthday. So I'm glad again that OP that showing him these comments made him realize, oh yeah, I am being a total douche here. I'm in the wrong, and my wife is not asking for much. And I hope some of them were eye opening. But it still pisses me off that it took this man 4 years of you expressing this for him to do the bare minimum and acknowledge your birthday. Moving on. Okay, this next story was written by Hot Maybe 7538. Do normal marriage fights escalate to this point? Seeking advice. I'm married with a toddler and currently on vacation with my husband's family. I'm struggling to understand whether an argument today crossed a line or if this is something that happens in normal marriages. All right. Our toddler woke up from her nap extremely upset and screaming. I took her outside to sit and hold her, trying to calm her down. My husband commented that maybe she was upset because she had just woken up and I had brought her out into the bright sun. That comment frustrated me. It felt like criticism without actually stepping in to help. I said something like, okay, then you help since you know better, and went inside briefly to grab diapers and wipes. Okay, so you guys already seemed a little testy because he might have been, just teasing a little bit or even just suggesting that she's grumpy because you brought her out into the sun and it immediately vexed you. So I'm wondering if there's something else there, to upset you. Or it could just be that he's criticizing you without actually helping you. So, you know what I'm saying? But it already seems like there's a little bit of tension. While I was inside, I heard him say to our toddler something like, "Where's mommy? She just left you outside and doesn't care." That hurt. And I came back immediately and said I had just gone to grab supplies. Okay, so he got passive aggressive. Again, it's like the words could be harmless. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like I remember joking with the baby, me and my ex-husband joking with the baby and say something like that, but there was no harshness in that. Because I'm sure we made jokes about, oh my gosh, did daddy do that? Daddy don't love you no more. And we're all joking, we're all laughing. So it's so wild that the same words could be used and it just feels completely different. Things escalated quickly. Our toddler had chocolate on her face. We had given her some to calm her, and my husband wiped her face with a handful of wipes. I don't remember everything that was said next, but he got angry, walked away, and threw the wipes he had used, like they were balled up, and he threw them at my head. They hit me in the face. Not hard, but it still shocked me. After that, he told me to go stay somewhere else, even though we're on vacation with his family. He also told me that everyone makes fun of me, and that I'm mean, and that I ruin trips, and that this is how people see me, and that he threw them on the couch and not at me, and he didn't mean to. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that escalated really quickly to what? Oh, I sure you guys weren't already mad at each other because this just went over the top. This went to 11. For additional context, this isn't the first time anger has been an issue. Yeah, I would assume so. In the past, he's been verbally abusive during arguments, has gotten in my face, and on one occasion forced my phone out of my pocket. We are currently in marriage counseling, and our therapist has explicitly told him he needs to get his anger under control. I know I was frustrated and defensive in this situation, and I'm not claiming I handled everything perfectly. I'm honestly just trying to understand whether this is within the range of normal marital conflict, or whether things like throwing objects, intimidation, or being told others view me negatively are signs of something more serious. I'm not looking for validation or to be told who's right. I'm trying to understand what's considered normal versus concerning in long term marriages. Okay, my word, I can say that I don't think this is okay. I know I don't like to use the word normal because everybody's got their own form of normal. You got to do what works for you and the person you've chosen to spend your life with, and that may not be normal to someone else. Um, but yeah, in in the context of what you're looking for, baby, this is not okay. If nothing, if it's it could be normal for some people. You can understand. Some people think toxicity is normal because it's all they know. What I will say is this is not healthy. And it's really blown out of proportion. You guys are having a persnickety, you're kind of at each other because the baby's irritated, and it's probably racking on you guys. She's upset and she's screaming, and you're trying to calm her down, and you're not at home, and so that's probably not helping the situation. It's possible the baby has not even been sleeping very well. You guys are on vacation in a different place, so maybe things were already heightened. His first comment frustrated you. So you got back at him. You snipping at you help then. And then he's snipping at you through the baby, you know? And then it gets to a place where you literally can't remember what was said, but he's physically throwing things at you. It doesn't matter if they're not meant to hurt you. Um and then jumping to saying everybody hates you. Everybody thinks horrible things about you. Whoa, that was a whole different jump. And I'm just like, how did you get this angry this fast? I can say it's not healthy. And for most people who are looking at a healthy relationship, this is not normal. This is not how a discussion or an irritation should escalate this way. But let's see what the comments have to say. No, this is absolutely not normal, like at all. The throwing things, getting in your face, forcing your phone away, that's escalating abuse. Normal couples don't throw stuff at each other when they're mad, even if it's just dirty wipes. The fact that your therapist already told him to get his anger under control and he's still doing this stuff is a huge red flag. Most of us argue about dishes or money, not have our partner tell us everyone hates us while hurtling objects at our heads. Exactly. Like that is taking it to a whole new level. Like where did that even come from? Why? That was meant to hurt you. Like they're so angry at this little argument they wanted to hurt you by saying the worst thing they could say to you. Like, ugh, not cool. Someone said already triangulating you and your toddler. This guy is a red flag. I'd stay elsewhere by packing my bags, going home, and filing for a divorce. Do not raise your daughter in this environment. Exactly, your daughter deserves better than believing that this is how she should be treated because mummy is treated like that. I misread your first sentence when I first saw it and thought you wrote, I'm married to a toddler. After reading your whole thing, this was proven correct even though it's not what you wrote. No, this is not normal. Throwing things, speaking with such cruelty and contempt, and mocking you behind your back to your kid are all gross and immature behaviors. You're married to an angry, abusive person, not normal at all. You guys need separate counselors so he can work on his anger and you can work separately on you. Until his anger is healed and the internal things driving his anger, marriage counseling is just postponing the inevitable escalation of his behaviors. Abuse starts small. Yeah, it's just like, yeah, where is this anger coming from? And is the marriage counseling actually going to target any of that? Because it, uh, it's just that would scare the crap out of me if this is how like my partner responded to a tiff that we were having. It'd be a no go for me. That you don't have to say something hateful to me more than once. I'm out. It's got to be the avoidant in me. I just know I will not put up with that. Nope, not normal at all. Throwing things at or around you and getting in your face is physical abuse. Plus, the comments to your child are unacceptable. Not only is what he said dramatic and untrue, it shows that he has no problem putting your child in the middle of your fights, which is wrong and an extremely unhealthy environment for your child to grow up in. Agreed. Like, they shouldn't have to deal with that. And it feels very passive aggressive. And again, it's like the words weren't terrible depending on what's going on between you. Like, if you guys have a healthy, bubbly thing going on, then yeah, those words could be seen as just a joke, but it didn't feel like a joke when he said it. And you didn't feel like it was a joke. And that's what matters. You know what tone he was using and what history you guys have. And it's not cute. Also, saying negative things to your toddler about you is a big red flag. If he says that when you have hardly done anything and she is 3, imagine what he will say when she is 15. Not normal. I've been with my husband for 6 years. We've had our fair share of arguments and have said some not nice things. He has never, not once, gotten in my face or thrown something at me. This is a constant escalation from your husband that will only get worse for you and your daughter. Verbal abuse, getting in your face, forcing things from your possession, throwing things at you. The next in line is him hitting you. You need to get out. And I agree with all of this. It's not going to stop. It's again, that's such a jump in the middle of an argument to saying hateful things. And I could not. And there's no way I would have my child around someone whose anger issues were like that. Like, no way. This person has no self control. As soon as they get worked up, there is no pulling back. They have to blow full steam before it's over. Like, they got to crash into the wall. There are no brakes for them. And that isn't safe for you or your daughter. So if you want to work on it, you need to work on it with distance between you. Like, you stay with your parents, I'll stay with my parents or whatever. But we're not working on it under the same roof. That's for damn sure. Whew. Okay. Moving on. All right. This story is by Weary Zucchini 7271. How do I tell him? How do you tell him what? Ooh, what is it you have to tell him? Let's find out. My husband and I have been married for 11 years with 2 kids. On our 3rd year, I found out he was cheating on me with our closest friend, my cousin's ex-girlfriend, whom my cousin had a kid with. Okay, so only 3 years in, he was already cheating on you. We then agreed to stay together for the kids and co-parent. We live in the same house, but in separate bedrooms. The kids never really ask why, as we work different hours, and it made sense to them. Or maybe the kids never asked why, because this is the reality with which they've been presented. I mean, they have no reason to think it's abnormal that you sleep in separate bedrooms when he started cheating on you 3 years into the relationship. They were incredibly young. And you guys have continued to stay together. What is 8 years of this? Okay. So you guys decided to stay together for the kids and co-parent. Um, okay. Ever since I found out, we decided we can see other people. He had a string of girlfriends from 2017 until 2025, and I had one relationship. All right, I know this sounds crazy to some people, but I have seen this. I have seen people who realize, you know what, the romance between us ain't gonna work out, but guess what we're good at? We're good at raising these kids. We're good at holding a family together. We're good at, having a home together. We both want to be there for our children. We both want a partner we trust with our children, but we just don't want to, be with each other that way. So why don't we do this? So before you judge it, this can work for some people, and this is what they decided to do. Um, and I mean, it's not like I'd be giving this guy another chance if only 3 years in he was already sleeping with someone else. So this would be the next best thing, right? Unless you just get a divorce, but that clearly wasn't an option for them. His last relationship just ended early this year because the girl felt insecure about how we still get to spend time together as a family. Yeah, I can understand that. For her, she would be thinking, this is weird. You still live with your wife and raise your kids together. Like, what does that mean for us if we got serious? I can't go home to your house because your wife is there. That would be weird. I get it. I don't think we should wouldn't, feeling insecure about that would make perfect sense. The kids don't have any idea of our setup because we decided to keep them out of it as we are very much civil with each other. I also don't want my kids to see him in a bad light since he has always been a good father to them. Are you sure they don't have any idea? Again, this is the only normalcy they've ever seen in their home. You two having separate bedrooms and the family being together. It doesn't mean that they're blinded to the fact that you two are seeing other people or that you're not romantic. I bet that, let me see, you've been together 11 years. Um, I'm wouldn't be surprised if at least one of them was old enough to recognize that their parents don't do what other parents do. Um, I doubt they're as blind to your setup as you think they are. I also don't think that you should be too concerned about them seeing their father in a bad light when you two decided to make this decision together. You decided to live together and raise the kids. That doesn't make either of you bad people. Now, I understand you wouldn't want them to know about the cheating that led to it, but just knowing that this is the way you live wouldn't necessarily make them think either of you were bad people. All they know is that, oh, our parents aren't romantic, but they're friends who have chosen to stay together and raise us so that we would have a comfortable home. And they just do their own thing. You guys aren't fighting, you're not cruel to each other. So I don't see why you need to hide this fact from them. I mean, and granted, not saying you have to tell them, but I think you might be worried for the wrong reasons. After his last relationship, it somehow feels that he is trying to win me over again, trying to patch things. But the thing is, I'm not ready. I don't know how to tell him. My time of being single and just prioritizing the kids, I truly enjoyed it. Some guys do flirt with me, but I just can't seem to wrap my head around being in a relationship anymore. I just want to be free and alone, prioritizing my kids. And it seems like it is where I am at my happiest and most peaceful. Well, yeah. I mean, you tried the happily ever after, and 3 years in, the guy had already broken that for you. And now being in a relationship, this is what a relationship is to you. Somebody letting you down, and then your life taking a completely different shape for the sake of your kids. Why would you want to be in a relationship? Like, why would you want to? Um, you have the support of your children's father, who's there in their life. You guys likely pay the bills together. You share the home together. Things are uncomplicated, and you're allowed to live your own peaceful lives. I can understand why you'd be very happy and peaceful here. Like, you both are getting a great benefit out of having made this decision. There's no the complications of divorce and stuff like that, or living in separate houses. Your kids have one home, and both of their parents are there, both of their parents get along. It's not like you two are living together in misery or anything. You guys are happy, you're content, and everyone's just doing their own thing. So why wouldn't you be happy? Why wouldn't you feel like ew if your husband was trying to start it off with you again? Be like, no, I'm I'm not into you that way anymore. You ruined that when you cheated on me. You had your chance to have that. You ruined it because you wanted other women. I let you go have those other women, but that didn't mean you could ever get me back. Like that ship sailed, bud. You clearly didn't want to fix it back then. 8 years later, suddenly you want to come back to roost in my bed? Oh, heck no. Heck no. Oh, here's some important context I wish we'd had the whole time. We don't have divorce in our country, and annulment is toxic. That's important to know. Now your choice makes way more sense. I just thought you guys were doing it only for the kids, but you can't actually you can't get divorced. Sure, they could move out and live in separate places, but they literally cannot legally separate their marriage bond. So, I mean, this was a great idea for them. I wish we'd known that going in though, because all of this makes way more sense that this is what they chose to do. They could have moved out, gone separate houses, but they still would have been stuck being married, you know? Yeah, I wonder what country they're in. I know some say the kids know, but from the looks of it, they don't. And I know if they find out, it will break their hearts. Why would it break their hearts? You live in a country where divorce isn't like legal. So I'm sure there are a lot of homes, a lot of parents who would love a divorce, but they legally can't get one because where you guys live, you would not be the first couple that they'd realize aren't head over heels in love. I can't imagine that you're the only people in your circle that are just living together because you still kind of have to raise your children. And I'm trying to figure out why this would break their hearts. What are you not telling us? Like, what have you told? Do you lie to your kids and make them think that you're still romantically in love with each other? Because, yeah, they would break their hearts to find out you've been lying to them. Hmm. I refuse to be my daughter's first heartbreak. I still don't understand how knowing that you two aren't romantic would break their hearts. But this is kind of out of my purview. Wow. This is, I'm going to go straight to the comments. I feel like I've been, peppering my thoughts throughout this entire post. So let's just go straight to the comments. Honestly, the kids definitely know something is up. They're way more observant than we give them credit for. Yes, but if they do not witness any maliciousness between their parents and experience both love and caring from both of them, then this form of parenting can work. Agreed. That's what I'm saying. Like, why would this just devastate them to find out you're not romantic? I mean, they're still getting this home where their parents respect each other, are kind to each other, and are supportive of each other, and still loving them and caring for them. I mean, it's not ideal, it's not a fairy tale, but this is a really good scenario for the kids. So, I I'm trying to what was the original problem? Oh yeah, hubby wants to get back with her. Or it seems he wants to get back with her. Let's see. You're teaching your kids a loveless marriage is normal. To them, you are married and a family, but they can feel the undercurrent of emotions and lack thereof even if they don't understand it. Is it truly loveless, though? Love comes in a lot of forms. Friends raise children together. They may not sleep together, they may not be romantic, but they love each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, these two clearly care enough to be respectful of each other, kind to each other, civil. They're able to live under the same roof. Then again, she could leave out the fact that there's evidence that it's not a healthy relationship in any way. I don't know. We have to take this stuff with a grain of salt. But it doesn't necessarily mean that their marriage is loveless. It's just not romantic. They're just not into each other that way. And they're still showing a healthy dynamic. It's not the worst thing for their kids to see, you know? Everyone's really focused on the kids. And, yeah. Like, yeah, here's another one. I would stop living a lie. That's a terrible example to set for your kids. Do you really want them to grow up having this modeled for them? Make a decision. If you're willing to try to repair your marriage, commit to it and get into counseling. Or just end it and have a divorce. She can't, though. Maybe the edit came later. Maybe she realized and then put later that she couldn't get a divorce because obviously she can't get a divorce. That's why this is seemed to be the best solution for them. I mean, what else are they going to do? Like I said, they either stay in the same house together and hate each other and force love on each other, blah, blah, blah. And that's what the kids grow up with, or they live in separate places, you know? but they still can't get a divorce. They're just living separate lives. And then the kids have to deal with that. So, given the circumstances where divorce is literally not something they can do, this was a really nice thing. The only real crime is that they're not honest about it with their kids, what the situation is. And I agree. Just let your kids know. Again, I don't know how old they are though. So you have to think about how you're going to tell them. Uh, Man, comments are obsessed with the kids, whether the kids know. I don't really think it matters at the moment whether the kids know. Her concern was how does she tell hubby that she's not interested in getting back together? So let's look for comments like that. Have you tried blasting, "We are never ever getting back together," or just telling him you have no desire to be anything other than a co parent? My cousin went through something similar for years. He finally got his own place and a divorce, and everyone is much less stressed. First of all, a huge kudos to you. It's not easy to have that level of maturity, specifically when there's two small kids to raise, and snap uh, would be the easy way. Anyway, you've been mature. If you manage dealing with all of that with much class and discretion, I'm sure you can tell your husband clear as water that you are not ready. Agreed. I mean, you guys have already handled this really well, so I don't know what would be so hard to tell this man that, nah, just not into you like that. Sorry, you had your chance 8 years ago, but I don't want that with you. You can keep dating, keep doing your thing, but I'm happy the way things are. I just want to be free and alone, prioritize my kids, and it seems like it is where I am my happiest and most peaceful. You've yet to be free or alone. You've had both a legal husband and roommate and a partner in your orbit this whole time. After his last relationship, it somehow feels that he is trying to win me over again. Well, yeah, that seems inevitable. It's been a long time since the initial cheating, and you're not angry anymore. You stuck around in the face of tremendous disrespect and even signed off on him carrying on with other women right in front of you. He doesn't have someone else to sleep with at the moment, and you're right there. He doesn't respect you and has no reason to think it'll cost him anything if shooting his shot goes badly. What has he got to lose? If this setup is working for you and you want to keep it, be direct. Honest communication is very important to a marriage, and arguably even more important if you're going to have some novel setup where normal rules and expectations don't apply. I'm not your wife in any other way beside the legal designation. We are not romantic partners. We are roommates with survivorship rights who also co parent, and that is all we will ever be. That said, doing so might end the marriage. I suspect it was always in the back of his mind that once he was ready to settle, you'd be available. Once that expectation is dashed, his priorities and preferences may change. Yeah, that's a whole chunk of things to consider. They do have a very unorthodox setup, and it's not exactly by choice. It was like the lesser of two evils in a situation where they can't legally split up. They can physically separate, but they will still legally be stuck together, you know? So it's not ideal, but they made the best of it. And I think this commenter is on the money about this guy, um, inevitably wanting to circle back to the wifey who's still there taking care of the home, raising his children, and gets along with him. And he didn't have to do anything to make up for messing around on her, breaking her heart with a friggin' friend, too. That's what's gross. Ugh. At the end of the day, the only advice she asked from us was how does she make it clear to him she doesn't want their situation to change and she doesn't want to be with him romantically. And I think it's been stated, just be honest, handle it with the same kind of maturity that this whole thing has been handled with. But just know that once he knows that he's not ever going to be able to use you as his fallback plan, he may change his mind about the situation. You know, he's played the field and suddenly he comes home to you and you're like, no thanks. Um, yeah, you might end up in separate homes anyway, you know, but that's a chance you have to take. And I mean, just, oh, wow. I do not envy your situation. I cannot imagine being in a country where I couldn't legally divorce my spouse. Um, and so I just feel trapped with them forever in some way. Um, but Good luck. Good luck to you, OP. Um, wow. Bless your heart. Jeez. I gotta move on. This one actually kind of depressed me, guys. I gotta move on. Okay, this was posted by Careful Gift 375. A small moment made me realize how different marriage feels than dating. This happened last weekend, and it's been stuck in my head more than the big stuff usually does. We were both in the kitchen, not talking about anything important, just doing our own thing. At one point, I mentioned something minor that was bothering me. Not in a serious way, just a passing comment. Without making it a whole discussion, my partner adjusted what they were doing and said, "Okay, we'll do it this way and do it this way then." No debate, no defensiveness, no who's right. It was so automatic that I almost didn't notice it until later. So did like you made a comment about something they were doing that was bothering you? Is what I'm assuming. Something minor, not, and you weren't like serious. You just made a comment that something they were doing was, bothering you, and they just said, "Okay, I'll do it this way instead," and that was it. Okay. That's when it hit me how different marriage feels compared to dating. When we were dating, little things like that would turn into explanations or negotiations. Now it's less about winning a point and more about smoothing the day so it works for both of us. Later that night, I was on my prize playing some slots, realizing how quiet and unremarkable it was, and how much trust was wrapped up in that. Not every issue gets solved this easily, obviously, but the default is different now. It reminded me that marriage isn't just the big conversations or the milestones. It's a lot of tiny adjustments that say, "I've got you," without ever needing to say it out loud. Curious if other married people noticed a moment like this where the shift became obvious. Yeah, I the only thing I would say about this is I don't believe it's about marriage that makes it different. I think this is more finding a person who genuinely loves and treasures you, cares about you. Because when you feel that way about someone, it isn't about who's right. It really is about respecting their thoughts, their feelings, their opinions about things, and wanting to find the path that's right for both of you. And I just take issue with the word marriage because you don't need to be married to find someone like that. I can understand in your OP situation that maybe that's what it feels like. Like when they were dating, they never had this, they never found that person, and now that they're married, they have found this. But I can speak from experience that it's honestly just about finding that person who cherishes you, who cradles you, and gives a damn. And yeah, like and vice versa. You feel that way when you find a person that you're like, I just want to smooth the road for you, honestly. It's not about winning an argument or making a point. Um, you said that bugs you, and it's no skin off my back to not do that. But I can see what he's talking about. It's the peace of having found someone like that and get to experience this and be like, wow, it was so quiet and unremarkable. But there's so much trust wrapped up in that, as OP stated. Yeah, it's a beautiful feeling, especially if you never really had it before. You didn't even know that that's what it could be, being in a relationship with someone like that. And you're like, wow, I was missing out, wasn't this is what they say it is. This is what the movies should be about. Let's go to the comments. Great way of expressing this. I've been thinking about the same thing a lot recently. It's the growing together and all the little adjustments that you make for each other compounding over time. My wife and I have been married for 23 years, and we joke about the fact that we're basically sharing a brain at this point. Oh, I'm happy to hear that because it's not everybody grows together. Don't take if you are in a relationship with somebody and as the years have passed, you're basically just melding into each other and it's become a dance that you've perfected over time with each other and it's healthy and it's beautiful. Oh, count your blessings because not everyone gets that. Some people, they hope that they'll grow in the same direction together and instead they're unwinding and growing apart. And so, bless you. I'm happy for you, and I hope you get even more years after these 23. I'm so jealous of you. When we were dating, my husband would always listen to what I wanted. He flipped after marriage. Now everything is a discussion from as little as laundry baskets and stuff for the kitchen. It drives me crazy, especially because I'm the one doing the laundry and the cooking. Someone who has the energy to complain about another one's task can do the task themselves. Great observation in your relationship. For most people, it's the opposite, or maybe he just didn't care about that particular point. Sounds nice. I usually have the opposite experience. And see, that's where I took issue with it being marriage that can make this shift. I don't think it's marriage necessarily. As some people say, their partner put in the effort when they were dating, and they listened, but then once they've got you, once they've got you shackled, it stopped. And now everything is a discussion and the trust has gone out the window. And you're just like, are you serious? So I don't think it's marriage that creates the shift, that it's more finding that person. But it also could be, for example, the man who agreed with him is a husband and he has a wife. And the one who said, I'm jealous, is a woman with a husband. So I'm kind of interested in what you think about that. Are husbands the one who benefit from having the partner who is willing to do those things, and women often get the partner who stops the effort? What do you think? I'd like to hear it in the comments. It is so lovely to hear about your experience with marriage. You and your partner have a close connection and love each other dearly to make the conscious effort to do the little things for each other. Not all marriages and relationships are like that, unfortunately. I think this is not solely a marriage observation. It is more of a personal observation on who and how your SO or partner is like. The little things really do matter, and most people get complacent or just can't be bothered putting in the effort to maintain a harmonious relationship. To maintain any sort of relationship, we do need to make a conscious choice and effort. And that's what I'm saying. It's not marriage that's the magic key. Then suddenly it's like, oh my gosh, I have found this person. No, it's the person. And you don't need to be married to find it. And that marriage is not going to guarantee that you did find it. Sounds great. I have a wife who could give a damn what I want and loses her mind if she doesn't get her way. Great to date, but impossible to stay married to. Month two, and I'm figuring out an exit strategy. This is insane. See, that's exactly what I'm saying. Marriage is not the key. I'm glad it's worked out for OP though. I think that's amazing. But yeah, it's not marriage, it's the person that you found. And I'm really glad you found your person and you also happen to be married to that person. All right, next story. Okay, this was posted by Cozy Polarguino 0219 92. Peak marriage communication. No notes. All right, these are images from phone conversation texts. Spouse appreciation. Oh, good. We're going to leave this on a high note. I like it. My dearest husband, it has been 3 hours since your departure, and I scarcely recognize the world I inhabit. The house, once warm with your presence, has become a hollow echo chamber of absence and unreasonable yearning. Even time itself seems to limp forward, burdened by your not being here. The children sense it. Thing one drifts through the rooms with questions he cannot quite name, and Thing two regards the world with the solemn air of one who knows something vital is missing. They too wait. We all do. I have stared out windows with great intensity on their behalf, and sighed deeply enough that the furniture itself has borne witness. I wander from room to room like a woman cursed by love, pausing at doorways as though you might materialize out of sheer devotion. I remain upright in my body, yet utterly undone in spirit. The walls whisper of you, the silence mocks me. I have considered I have considered reclining dramatically, should you return and require visual proof of my suffering. If this trial persists, I fear I shall soon require a chaise lounge, a glass of water, and perhaps a trusted companion to confirm that I am, in fact, enduring this separation with courage. Pray hasten home, my love, for though this absence is brief in hours, it is vast in torment. We miss you in a manner most excessive, deeply sincere, and entirely unbecoming. All my love, your devoted wife. P.S. This is all said with dramatic affectation and zero chill. I am not actually perishing, but I do miss you a ridiculous amount and would like you home, please. Also, please pick me up some strawberry Twizzlers and a white prime energy drink on your way home. Oh my gosh. This is wonderful. I love it. Um, And see, it says, OP wrote, I married a poet, a lunatic, but a poet nonetheless. I will stop for the Twizzlers. I needed that. That is so cute. I think my favorite thing about finding a partner that you love and trust is being playful with them. That's the stuff that really it goes the distance. That's the fun stuff. A person that still makes you laugh, makes you smile, makes you like surprises you with things like this every day. This was really well written. Like this was lovely. Oh my goodness. Oh, I needed this. I really did. Best part about that is that his response was just a will do. And I like that. At this point, I think he knows the drill. Skip to the bottom and find the list. Next time, try to include the list into the poem, like puzzle pieces scattered around. Let's see if he is an attentive reader, shall we? I know, you're gonna have to change this up. After a while, he's gonna be like, yes, my poet of a wife has sent me some wonderful verbose literature. But I know there's gonna be something she wants at the bottom, and he'll skip to it. So yeah, keep changing it up. Play with him. Will do is the exact response I'd get from my husband too. Oh, that's so cute. And OP updates in the comments. He did return, and with him the requested provisions. Yet fate remains cruel. It was prime hydration he acquired, not prime energy. Nevertheless, I endure. You know what? I applaud your bravery, OP. I do. You made it. Kudos. I am dying. This is majestic. You turn a beautiful phrase. Yes, OP does. I hope you actually use that. You could write for columns. I hope he appreciates how you relate to him, you and your children's love for him so much with so much humor and a little reality, the Twizzlers. When he reads this, his mood must immediately improve. I can bet he enjoys this and looks for more. I think I need to do something like this. My husband would love it. Ha! If my partner texted me this, you best believe I'm replying with just as much drama. Oh, me too. 100%. I want to play. I am a LARPer. Let's do this. This is the best ish ever. Sorry, but I'm stealing it for the next time. I need to ask for like microwave popcorn or some other mundane item. You cannot steal what I freely give. It's all yours, friend. Oh, this was the best story to end on. I needed that. That was so lovely. I wish you all the best. I hope that life is just full of these snapshots, these moments that keep everything glued together because these are the beautiful moments. These are the reasons we all fantasize about finding that person that we're going to grow old with on the porch. So, thank you for that, OP. Oh, and that is going to be it for today, my lovelies. I hope you enjoyed listening to those stories or just the dulcet tones of my raspy voice. Still got a little bit of that frog in the throat. I hope you are able to either, relax for a bit, have a drink, or get some chores done. And if you enjoyed it, why don't you tickle that like button? And if you want to join me again, hit subscribe. Until then, drink water, make smart choices. Bye.